Growing up as a child, I never got the attention of boys. I became aware of this as a 13-year-old, and this reduced my self-esteem. Imagine being aware of it as a young girl. I had a phobia of staring into the mirror. My parents were good at parenting, giving me words of affirmation as the only child. However, beauty has to come from within. You have to love every being of yourself, and then would people's words of admiration be appreciated. I didn't find any atom of beauty in me. I hated my teeth, head, nose, eyes, and my legs. I hated every being of my existence. Back in middle school, I had no friends because I was hiding. My math teacher, Ms. Agnes, was always looking out for me in class. However, I was always running away from class. One day, I couldn't avoid class because she announced that we will be having a math test. After the test, Ms. Agnes reached out to me. "Sarah, were you in school yesterday?" Ms. Agnes asked. "Yes, Ms. Agnes," I replied. She said, looking at me pitifully. "I didn't see you in class." She said further. I was at the back of the class because I wasn't feeling good. I left quickly so that she wouldn't go further with the questions. The fact was that I wasn't in class. I was reading in the music room. Before I forget, I was the best student in school. I was only considered in the context of a nerd by my classmates. I was only spoken to when my fellow classmates had questions regarding books and school. The boy I liked, Caleb, wasn't into me. He liked another, Jessica. Jessica was very beautiful, the opposite of the features I had. Long legs, pointed nose, gray eyes, and long hair. I always wished I was her, apart from having her brains. She wasn't very smart. I was in class when Caleb walked to my seat. "Sarah, can you help me with my science homework?" I didn't have to look up to know whose voice that was. That voice invaded my space and tormented my dream. "Yes, I will gladly help you with it," I replied happily. I finished his homework before the close of the day. I handed it to him the next day, and he was grateful. That was the first time we said more than 4 words to each other. I thought we had chemistry, but our relationship did not move past the assignment relationship. It became a thing. I did his homework for him, and he gave me that big smile, which was enough appreciation. Fast forward to high school. Everyone I knew back in middle school looked nice and different in high school except me. My looks remained the same. My old classmates were fuller in body shape. Everyone looked like supermodels to me. I was skinny, and just like my mother, I wasn't into fashion. So, my clothes were plain. The moment it dawned on me that I was ugly was when nobody asked me out for prom. I didn't bother going because it was going to be horrible, especially knowing that Caleb would be dancing with Anne, his new girlfriend. My parents were always worried that I would do something to myself. My mother would always check up on me and tell me how she loved and was proud of me. While my father deposited money into my account to buy anything I wanted that would make me happy. I made them prouder when I was admitted to Columbia Law School. They were afraid at first, considering that my school was a long distance away from home in Utah. They were mainly concerned about my self-esteem. They had no choice but to let me go. After saying goodbye to my parents, I entered my hostel feeling uneasy. I had never been away from my parents except when I visited my grandparents. However, I somewhat loved this newfound freedom. I don't have to worry about them telling me to make friends or go out. As I entered my room, I saw different mirrors hanging on the wall, which I hated. I figured my roommate was some girl obsessed with herself. I would let her know I wanted to remove the mirrors from my corner without giving her my reasons. My roommate came into the room later, and lo and behold, she was not like I imagined her to be. I was expecting a fine, tall, slim, and curvy girl. But Gwen was a short and fat girl. However, the manner she carried and bodied herself was something worth studying. We both exchanged pleasantries, and I learned that Gwen was also in my class. Gwen was always busy with school and extracurricular activities. She had many friends. She enjoyed partying and clubbing. I wanted to enjoy life like her, but insecurities ate me up. One day Gwen invited me to a party. You should come to Annabelle's party tonight, Sarah, Gwen said. I have a couple of assignments due tomorrow night. I replied. Oh, girl, you should learn to have fun, Gwen teased. I laughed and told her next time. When she left, I was back on my phone scrolling through Instagram and TikTok, mesmerized by the perfect bodies I saw on my feed. Influencers with tiny waists, toned abs, and curvy hips flooded my screen. I couldn't help but compare myself to them, feeling increasingly insecure about my own body. I wanted to have a taste of what being sexy and attractive tasted like. I wanted to get the attention of men. Determined to change, I followed countless workout routines from Instagram fitness gurus and loaded up on protein to build muscle. I pushed myself hard at the gym, hoping to sculpt my body into the ideal shape I admired online. Yet, no matter how much effort I put in, I never seemed to achieve the look I desired. My academics began to suffer because I put so much energy in my appearance. Michael, my friend, came to visit me at my hostel. Michael was the first guy I met on my first day in college. He was very nice to me and we became friends. I had a crush on him, but he had a model girlfriend, Brown, who was in the College of Art. Even if Michael was single, I don't think I stood a chance with him because I was definitely not his type. Michael and I were in the friend zone. Sarah, you missed the law and politics impromptu test yesterday, Michael said with concern in his voice. I was sick, but I feel better now, I lied. The truth was that I spent 5 hours in the gym, almost reaching my breaking point. I was too tired to attend the class. I never knew the professor would give an impromptu test. Oh, you had me worried. I tried calling you, but it went straight to voicemail. He said with so much concern, and that felt romantic and sweet, because nobody had ever been concerned about me except my parents and grandparents. Thank you, Michael. I will go talk with the professor, I finally said. I wasn't concerned about missing the test, but was carried away by how sweet it was that Michael cared about me. I wanted to work on my body so badly so that I will be the perfect girlfriend that complimented Michael. One day, my favorite influencer, who I had long admired for her seemingly flawless figure, was exposed for having undergone a Brazilian butt lift. The news spread quickly, and the influencer eventually admitted to the procedure. This revelation provided me with a fleeting sense of relief. It wasn't just hard work and dedication that had created those perfect curves. Despite knowing the truth, I couldn't shake the pressure to conform to those beauty standards. The images of perfect bodies continued to haunt me. I still yearned for that ideal figure. I guess the low self-esteem had done severe damage to me and I needed therapy to undo the damage. After much contemplation, I decided to undergo a BBL, convinced that it would bring me the happiness and confidence that I so sought. I wanted to be worthy of Michael. After doing my research, I told my parents I needed money for some school projects. My dad didn't waste time in sending me the money that I wanted. I told Michael and Gwen that I was traveling for a family function and would not be back until 1 month. I went under the knife. The surgery was painful and I needed some time to heal. I spent more days than I anticipated. Michael was very worried and called me to ask if everything was okay. I was very happy with the checkup because it was because of him I was going through all these and it was worth it. Returning back to school was awkward because I was looking completely different. Everyone kept asking if I did something to my body. I always said no, and that my new body was a result of consistent exercise and healthy eating. There is something different about your body. Did you gain weight or something? You appear fuller, he said. I laughed, not knowing how to answer. This is still me, Michael. I have missed a lot of tests, I said, trying to change the subject. Oh yes, I can help you with your assignments and reading to make up for the missed tests, Michael said casually. This was not what I was expecting. I expected him and other guys to flock around me and to stare at me in a way that showed that they desired my new body. Hello, I have a sexy body now. I said to myself. I thought that was what guys loved. Weeks passed, and I was still the old Sarah in a new body. No attention, no Michael, not even a boyfriend. One day, I saw Michael and Brown kissing in the library. I felt bad that night. I decided to go through her Instagram page and saw comments about girls wanting to be like her so much. One comment was, "I wish I had your nose, lips, and boobs. I felt that was what I needed to be more attractive to get the attention of people and most especially sweet Michael." This time I used my credit card, because asking my parents for more money would be suspicious. I did nose and boob surgery at the same time. I looked completely different and my roommate was worried. "Don't you think you are going too far with this surgery thing? It is not like you flaunt them," Gwen reprimanded me. "Are you jealous? Is it because I look better than you?" I asked Gwen. "Sarah, you have always been finer and smarter than me. You are one person that I know that can pass an exam even without attending classes. Unlike you, I am not fixated on my imperfections. I embraced myself wholesomely. I am comfortable in my skin and have accepted my body type since I was a kid. I am confident in my strengths and in myself. People see that confidence and have no choice but to accept me. There is no standard to beauty. There should never be any ideal beauty type. We are all created differently, and that is the uniqueness. I am outgoing and social. You are a very smart and intelligent lady who grasps concepts faster than anyone I know. Michael, your friend, is caring and compassionate. Everyone is unique. Unfortunately, you have allowed your strengths to suffer in your pursuit of happiness through the lens of comparison. People only see you through your lens. If you see yourself as ugly, people will see you as ugly. However, if you see yourself as beautiful, that is the only thing people will see when you walk by. Embrace yourself, Sarah. Because the Sarah I saw the first day was a tall, beautiful girl. Gwen's words broke me. I bursted out in tears. It is easier for you to say. You don't know my struggles. Nobody has ever asked me to prom. No guy has ever asked me out. I am ugly. Gwen took me by hand gently to the mirror. "What do you see?" Beyond the surgery, there was a long silence. I was hesitant to speak because I was never comfortable looking in the mirror. "Me?" I finally broke the silence. "What makes you Sarah?" Gwen asked further. I couldn't say anything. Gwen took it further. "If you just met Sarah for the first time and you wanted to describe her, how would you describe her to me?" I still didn't reply. Gwen answered her question. This would be my response. I met this girl who is absolutely stunning. She's tall with the longest legs I have seen, just like Julia Roberts. Her skin is perfect without any blemish. Her hair is long and golden. What I admire most about her is her gorgeous blue eyes. She's got high cheekbones, a cute nose, and a full, rosy lips. While Gwen was speaking, I started observing these nice features on my body. I continued crying and Gwen hugged me reassuringly. I spoke out loud, "I am beautiful. I do not need cosmetic surgery." I cannot imagine that I have never looked at myself for up to 5 minutes in the mirror to see how beautiful I was. Now you see you, Sarah. Now you see you, and, finally now you see you. Others will see you because beauty comes from within. Gwen said. We both hugged and cried more. I needed to hear it from within that I was beautiful. I was grateful to Gwen. She was a girl my age, but wiser and more mature. She always said growing up with 4 sisters made her think and act mature. Weeks after, I started therapy. Gwen and I went shopping for nice clothes. She taught me how to wear makeup to support the online lessons that I have been receiving. We both went to the salon for new hairstyles. I decided to remove the BBL and boobs lift. I went back to the old me, but with more confidence. It took me many months of therapy to get my self-esteem to a healthy level. I am still healing and working on myself. There was a new glow in me, and the truth was I no longer self-sabotaged. I became an example of how important it was to live authentically and find beauty in oneself. I embraced my strengths and my intelligence. I stopped thinking of the negative words bullies in my past schools said to me. I was able to help Gwen and assist her with her academics. We both helped each other and became best friends. Before we left for summer break, Michael broke up with Brown. For some reason, he refused to share. The new me was not obsessed with being his girlfriend. I just wanted to focus on academics and helping others struggling with self-esteem. I didn't care about the men giving me attention. When I went home for Thanksgiving holiday, my parents were so happy with the new me. And this time, when they told me how beautiful and amazing I was, I told them I knew. They both laughed and admired how I had evolved from being a timid girl to a confident woman. I remain grateful to my best friend, Gwen. To cut the long story short, Caleb, my childhood crush who used me for assignments, asked me to be his girlfriend. I ran into him at the community library when I went home for holiday. Michael, on the other hand, called me to confess his love, telling me that I was the reason he broke up with Brown. I was confused about who to choose. After much deliberation, I ended up with Michael. Michael was always there for me, showing concern for my welfare. I took Michael home and introduced him to my parents. They fell in love with him. Our love blossomed. Michael supported my organization that helped women suffering from low self-esteem. We touched several women's lives and helped them build their self-confidence.